What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is a special episode of Real Estate Uncensored. It is Greg and I alone. The junior grandmaster is in the co-pilot seat where he so belongs. I am in the master pilot's seat. Yes, that is the one and only pilot together with my co-pilot. So I'm in the control seat and running this episode. I'm going to try to do my best, Greg, today to live up to my moniker as a certified Greg handler. What do you think?
It's Greg Wrangler, not Greg Handler.
Yeah. All right. That's better. That is better. Greg Wrangler. Sorry. All right. So we're going to talk about automated follow-up and what agents are going to have to adjust to. Some of it's really encouraging. Some of it might be off-putting for some. But I think we're moving into a world where a lot of the follow-up with online leads is going to be handled through automated means and virtual chats, and then sales agents, virtual assistants, stuff like that before it makes it to the agent, which I think ultimately is a good thing. But it is part of a bigger overall trend. So we're going to talk about a couple of developments there. Let's talk first, Greg, about just give me an overview of what you're doing with Clever Leads and what is the automated follow-up that you guys are doing.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah. A good friend of mine, Jake Wolf, and his business partner, Joe Longo, created a company called Clever Leads. It's spelled with a K. And you will not have heard of them because they've been very behind the scenes quite a bit. And when he first reached out to me, I'm like, great, another marketer or what the blank is going on, right? Well, what we started doing is that it's completely 100% customizable. That's the biggest thing about it. There's no template. They give you a template for like a landing page. You put a video in, and then you can customize everything on that page. You customize the video, but then the real power is in the text follow-up or the email follow-up that you write 100% exactly the way you'd want to speak, down to the colors of the letters, down to the length, how many do you want. And so I launched an initial run with Clever. And so Jake and I, he's been so kind to me. He spent so many hours and still does with me working on this stuff and really kind of showing me how to get it done. And a lot of people are haters. I was a hater on cold text messaging and cold email. And I thought this is just going to be a complete waste of time. But the first run that we did, Jake's like, hey, because he's ex-military guy in military intelligence, he's like, hey, do you want to put bullets down range? And I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, do you want to go find leads? Like, oh, yeah. Let's go find leads. And so we did 124 or 126 cold text messages following the DNC guidelines, right? So we're not, breaking that rule at all. 90 plus of them landed, and within an hour, I was in active conversations with over 45 of those people who had responded back to me. Wow. I have anywhere from a 40 to a 60% response rate on every single campaign that we push out. Mm-hmm. And these were true expireds. And because of the customized follow-up that we do there, how we build it, I was able to land a $1.8 million listing using this program, and it cost me fractions of a cent to do it. So I think what the big thing there is it's not canned. It's not you, right? You write it the way that you would speak, and people respond back to it. And he and Joe really have an insight to what they're building. We just launched a brand new campaign with them, and that's going to be their complete customized websites. Now, these things are SEO and keyword saturated. So like if a person touches this website for a fraction of 1 second, we're gonna land a pixel on them. We own them for life at that point. They'll never get out of your web. So that's one of the new things we're going to be starting to launch here. So when it comes to automation, it's going to really be putting people into different buckets, AKA different lists that you can say different things to on Facebook. Then you can transport them over, and you can redirect them onto social media campaigns as well. You can do cold text messaging, or actually warm text messaging at that point, emails, calls. And so you really get them into your ecosystem. And if you're 100% authentic, transparent to who you are and the way you want to operate your business, and if they resonate with you, then they're going to come in and they're going to want to get into business with you. Right before this recording, this podcast, then I'll shut up because we only have 15 minutes on the show. Otherwise, I can keep going and just drive me nuts.
I believe you.
I know that. I know. I actually got a call from a guy. His name is Michael. He lives in Florida, down in the northern Florida area. He watched one of my YouTube videos. He came back, landed on my page, got pixeled. I've been able to communicate with him. He got the phone and said, he's basically said, hey, dude, I want to move out to San Francisco. You're going to be the guy because you broke it down for me. You were very concise, and I really appreciate it. And so the business happens. It can get there. You just got to understand how you're going to speak to these people. So, I mean, Matt, what are you seeing? Because you have another system that you're operating with right now, right?
Well, Greg Harrelson does, yeah.
Greg
So,
Harrison,
like
yeah.
over on the Level Up podcast, which we produce, Greg's been talking about a program he's been working with for the last, I would say, year, maybe even year and a half. And the system is called Contact Junkie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I don't whether it compares off the shelf to Clever Leads. Like Clever Leads is super custom. I think there's Contact Junkie has a little bit more templates built into it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit ready for the average agent just to kind of go in there and tweak. But I don't know all the particulars. But I know this. I don't see Greg get excited about a lot of stuff. Harrelson, he is not easily impressed,
Mm-hmm.
and he is incredibly smart and incredibly savvy with follow-up campaigns because he's been working with email campaigns in Infusionsoft for God knows how many years, and he's been selling like an Infusionsoft integration for a lot of years where you get all of Harrelson's email campaigns like built into your Infusionsoft. So he really knows like what messaging resonates with people. He's really, really good at what types of follow-up actually works and actually gets response. And all of his input and all of the experience of his, I think he's got like 200 agents on his combined teams now between all the brokerage offices that he owns in the Carolinas now.
Mm-hmm.
So all of their experience working with Contact Junkie is going into that system. And what I'm hearing from him is that when agents plug into this, they're experiencing that same thing where the system is taking care of and filtering out the people that aren't interested. Mm-hmm. It's getting them off of the agent's plate so that the agents can focus on picking up the conversations where the automated part can't keep going, mm-hmm. where they need somebody to step in and deliver like a personal conversation and get them on the phone and get them into appointment. Mm. So I think that's kind of the direction that I was hoping we would go in the conversation, which is I think we've been living in this world for the last 10 years of like online lead generation where it basically meant, hey, go buy 1,000 leads and make 5,000 phone calls and you'll get about 100 deals or something like that. Like out of those, maybe 50. Like the numbers are insane. You have to buy thousands and thousands of online leads in order to do any significant numbers of deals. And it's a lot of sifting, so agents are getting tired of making all those calls, all those texts, all those emails. And I think we're about to step into a time when you can still buy those leads, but then you can also buy a system that will sort through them for you. And the conversations kind of bubble up to the top to where you can then step in and take over the conversation, which I think is going to be a really interesting and overall for the agent, I think it's a very good development.
There's something interesting that I haven't even told you about yet, Matt. There is a company out there, and I'm not sure if I can say the name of the company yet because I think this is more beta right now. But they reached out to me and they said, hey, look, here's a new program. We'd like to try it out. And so basically what it was is that I was able to take my database, and I generally what they charge is about I don't know what their billing is. I'm not going to speak for them yet, but this company, you can take your database up to about 2,500 people. You upload it into their system. It will automatically rank with their AI who the most likely people are to be selling out of your own database in the next 90 to 120 days. They'll spit that list back out to you for a nominal fee. And then all you have to go do is go talk to people who already know you and who already like you in your database. Start get the copies, take them out to lunch, whatever it's going to be, get on a Zoom call, fill in the blank. And it's actually a very interesting program because when they ranked my database, I was very surprised at some of the people that ranked at the very top and some of the people that ranked at the bottom. And so it's even a better, hotter, cleaner way for you to get into your database. Even if you have a database of 500, who cares? Mm-hmm. Upload it into them. They'll rank them. Then just literally go have conversations with these exact people who already know you and get into conversations. So I tested it, right?
Let me guess. Your girlfriend is at the top of that list of people who are going to move far, far away. Like, wait a minute. What
are you doing on that list? Well, she just bought a house, so she's not going anywhere.
Okay.
By the way, we went to her house. She's like down to like just sticks. Like the whole house is completely 100% gutted.
Okay.
Dude, it's fucking gonna be tits. I mean, oh my gosh.
Good to know.
She is amazing. Anyways, she's not
as the whole Me Too movement comes down on you for describing a house like that.
It's amazing. Okay, how about some amazeballs? Now we're both gender specific.
See, there you go. Now, well, you've got one out of the 90 genders covered, or two out of the 90 genders covered. So we're safe. All right, good.
But the thing is that two things. What Matt and I are talking about, and then we'll wrap this thing up. One, either talk to Clever Leads with a K that I'm talking about, or the one Matt, the one you're talking about was
Contact Junkie. So you can go to Real Estate Sales Solutions, which is Greg Harrelson's website for more on that. RealEstateSalesSolutions.com.
Or you guys can reach out to me on a private DM on either Instagram or Facebook. Go follow me on both. It's Greg McDaniel REU on Instagram, and then Greg McDaniel here on Facebook. And hit me up with a message. I will talk with this other company and figure out when they want to come out in regards to this new product that they have in regards to ranking your database. But either if it's outbound or inbound, you've got to be doing something that's going to be more proactive, more intelligent than just random cold calls, random mailers, random everything. You can't do shotgun right now. You got to do more laser. You got to build that relationship, know what the issue is, because there are a lot of people that are moving. They're moving out of the downtown area. San Francisco, Matt, I don't know if you know this, their rents are down 30%.
Holy cow!
Pricing. I mean, you want to talk about a lot
and the
of
U-Hauls out of San Francisco are up 1,000%.
No, that's not a joke. You literally can't find a U-Haul majority of the time. I was in the city last weekend with my girl at her house, and dude, we were just nonstop behind moving trucks. It was all of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, where's everyone go? Oh, they're moving.
That's right. They're all coming to Texas. Okay. Well, before we wrap this up, there was a couple things that I wanted to point out. They're not super tactical, but a couple things to think about because I think just the whole automated follow-up stuff fits into this bigger trend. So number one, I think we're going to see, and I'm already hearing more about this, profit margins going down. So in other words, commission getting squeezed for the agent, right? So prepare for that. But how do you, like, the best way to prepare for that is to not prepare for your income to go down. The best way to prepare for that is to prepare to do more deals, right? So don't think of it as taking a pay cut. Think of it in terms of, no, I have to do more deals. And the way that I would look at that, if I was, building a small team or in that world that we're in today, I would be looking at it as a challenge to two things. Number one, to build more emotional maturity and resilience so that I can have more clients in my life and be able to deal with their emotional stuff, which is a big reason why agents get paid, number one. And number two, building my leadership skills so that I can have people on my team to do more of the transaction stuff, more of the marketing stuff, so that I can focus on the client stuff, so that I can do more deals and make the same or more money in an environment where there's lower commission rates. So we don't have to, like, agents don't have to take this lying down. Like, our profit margins are going to get squeezed, whether it gets squeezed by commissions going down or whether it gets squeezed by you paying more for leads and automated follow-up so that you don't spend all day on the phone being miserable talking to random leads from internet, from internet websites. Yeah. So your commissions are going to get squeezed one way or the other. So I would look at it as a challenge to go, okay, great. How do I build the skills? How do I build the emotional maturity? And how do I build the business structure that will allow me to take those leads and put more leads into my system, kick out more clients, work with more people so that I continue to make more money even while profit margins are going down? Because the people that have that mentality are going to be the ones that win over the next handful of years.
It's very interesting. I had a girl named Ashley Chapman, a young gal, 25 years old, out of your neck of the woods, San Diego.
It sounded familiar.
And she's just a ball of energy. And she and I were doing some beers and calls the other day, and she, dropped the hammer on me and goes, yeah, today I just landed my second or third 7% listing contract. And I'm like, wait, you just say 7%? She's like, yeah, 7%. I'm like, holy macaroni, woman. Like, what are you doing? She's like, I just showed value. So it'd be interesting. I think your thought pattern is accurate, because a lot of the times real estate agents, and I'm not saying this as a hit to any of you guys that are listening right now, I'm just saying this as an overall. So think about your business when I say this. You don't make it memorable. You make it cardboard. You make it vanilla. You make it status quo. You don't make it something that, people want to talk to their friends about. Like, why do you think people want to go to Disneyland? It's not because they want to see fucking Mickey Mouse that bad. It's because it's memorable. They feel special. And if Ashley, who's 25, an absolute assassin at this stuff, is able to do this, why couldn't the rest of you guys go out there and make it a memorable event? Stevie Hahn, that was on our show, good dear friend out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. What the fuck am I talking about? Out of Jacksonville, Florida. Sorry, Stevie. But I mean, she makes her clients feel appreciated. It's a memorable event. So if you guys don't want, and Matt, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, if you don't want to have your commissions cut, make it so that people can't live without you. Who was it on our show that said if you're Tom Cruise famous to 50 people, you can make a 7-figure income a year?
That was Zach Hammer.
Zach.
Yeah, it's I think there's a lot of things that we can do. There's a whole universe of things you can do to make yourself memorable. But it absolutely does start with real value, not just perceived value, relationship value, squishy, like human stuff. You gotta be able to. You gotta be able to
human shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying. Like there's people that are going to be better at that than others. There's people that are just people, and their love language is giving gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that are going to be better at that than you are.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you can't show value. You have to show value in the way that suits you and your business. So if you talk to someone like Dan Beer, who's dominating San Diego right now, his thing is not going to be taking 7% listings and showing value through client appreciation, right? Because he's got a listing specialist, an entire team, a transaction coordinator. Like their thing is, we have a system, we specialize in this, like we have removed every single obstacle. We have a marketing plan in place. We do a whole 3 to 4 week buzz building program before your house goes on the market. Like they do tangible, concrete stuff that's different from other agents. That allows them to achieve the same effect, which is they're memorable, but they're memorable for completely different reasons than probably Ashley does. So there's something out there for everyone is what I'm trying to get at. But make sure that you're memorable for something that's authentic to you and is super valuable to them and gets them better results.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I think you said something there that was very important, but you went over it so quickly because it's so natural for you to talk about. But it's about building a plan. I'm reading the book, I'm building the book. What is that book I'm reading? Story.
What? I heard it in the book I heard.
It's was it? God damn it! Just show up. Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller.
Oh, Story Brand, yeah.
And one of the things that he talked about in the book is, I think it's chapter 8, and he talks about, and he has a plan, and that's one of the big things.
Yeah, it's a great part.
Great, and it hits home for me so hard because a lot of us, we're great being front men or women. We're great out there getting the leads and everything else and talking a good game, but we never throw what he talks about in the book. You never throw the boulders in the river so that you can walk across the river safely and securely, knowing what your next step's going to be. So if you guys are to do one thing, figure out a plan. Show people the next step. It's like Indiana Jones. When remember in one of the movies where he's in that big chasm and we look at it and there's no way across this chasm, and he goes back and he grabs the sand, and he throws the sand across, and all of a sudden the camera angle changes and voila, he has a sturdy way across this chasm. So if you're struggling on how to kind of bring value to your future buyers and sellers, show them the next steps. Do buyer or seller seminars. Get out there and do a podcast, do Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives. Get on there and do TikToks. Do something, but show them what to expect next, and then allow them to follow you. It's like paving a freeway through the jungle. All you have to do is bushwhacking, pave the road behind them. They'll follow you, but you got to show them a plan and a story.
Don't be Mr. Miyagi. If Mr. Miyagi was trying to sell his services, he would do very poorly because he gave Daniel-san no plan. He had no idea what was happening next. He didn't know what the purpose was of anything, and that's how we treat our clients most of the time. So anyway,
wax on.
Throw that in there. Exactly.
Wax off.
And then, by the way, go wash my car. Okay.
Not with rocks.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right. So, Greg, what's the best way to reach out and connect with you?
Guys, I want you to do something very, very simple. This is what they call a telephonial. It works. I pay the bill almost every month. We don't know. Matt doesn't allow my allowance to go out on time sometimes, so sometimes my payments are late. But guys, feel free to give me a call on my cell phone. Best number is 925-915-1978. Also, I want you to go ahead and go over to gregmcdaniel.com. If you guys want to talk about some like cool training and some other stuff I got going on over there, I'm building a brand new site. It will be up very soon, probably by the time this episode comes out. But if you want to connect with me, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. Do it today, and I will take you through and give you guys free training to help you guys get to the next level of your success. So, Matt,
awesome.
Now, where can people? I've heard of this, encyclopedia that you wrote. What is that? What is this encyclopedia that you wrote?
It's a much shorter book called Microfamous, but you can get it at getmicrofamous.com. The links there to my podcast are also there. So if you want to learn how to build a thought leadership business without being everywhere on social media all the time, as you can see, I am not on social media all the time, as opposed to Greg, who apparently lives there, has set up shop there, and has gotten very cozy. But if you if you want to build a business where you can be micro famous, like you talked about earlier, the Tom Cruise famous, to a smaller group of people, and still build a legit 6 or 7 figure business that's a pleasure to run, like mine is. Yeah, that's what micro famous is all about. So go to getmicrofamous.com. All right, Greg. We need a color for the bow to tie around this episode, and we have nobody else on the show. So where do I pull the inspiration from for this bow?
I think it would be right over your right shoulder. It seems to be a color of a pamphlet.
Oh, a pamphlet. That's my book. Okay, let's go with Micro Famous Red for the bow.
Okay,
works
guys.
for me.
There it is. There's Micro Famous Red for the bow, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We really appreciate you and love. We couldn't do this without you. Go to wherever you watch podcasts and listen to podcasts. Give us a 5-star, not a 2-star rating, because that helps serve it up to other folks. But until
and if you're not already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're almost at 15,000. I thought you were going to throw it in there, Greg, but you did not. So I decided to step in, and then peace out, ninjas. We're gone.
Yeah. All right, guys, go to our YouTube channel. And Matt, and this is just to you. Peace out, ninjas. We go.